Have you ever felt like you're living the same day over and over again, but on a much larger scale? Maybe it's not the same day, but the same relationship, the same argument, the same obstacle at work, or the same feeling of being stuck. This isn't just a coincidence. It's what many ancient wisdom traditions refer to as a karmic loop. It's a profound, repeating pattern in our lives, a lesson that the universe is gently, or sometimes not so gently, asking us to learn. It's like being in a class where you have to retake the same exam until you finally pass. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, presents us with these recurring themes not to punish us, but to guide us toward deeper understanding and growth. Understanding this concept is the first, most powerful step toward changing your life's trajectory. A karmic loop is a cycle of events, emotions, and relationships that repeats itself because a core lesson remains unlearned. It's the universe's way of holding up a mirror, showing us the parts of ourselves that need our attention, our healing, and our conscious effort. Think of it as a cosmic GPS rerouting you until you take the correct exit. The patterns might manifest in your love life, your career, your friendships, or even your internal emotional world. It's a signal that there's a deeper truth waiting to be uncovered, a part of your journey that requires a new perspective or a different choice. In this video, we're going to explore the 7 key signs that you might be trapped in one of these karmic loops. My intention is not for you to feel discouraged, but to feel empowered. Recognizing these signs is like being handed a map to your own freedom. By shining a light on these patterns, we can begin to understand the lessons they hold. And once we understand the lesson, we gain the power to break the cycle, to step off the repeating carousel, and to consciously create a new, more fulfilling path forward. This is where your true growth begins, where you stop being a passenger in your life and start becoming the driver of your own incredible journey. Let's start with one of the most common and often most painful areas where these loops appear, our relationships. Do you find yourself consistently attracting partners who, on the surface, seem different, but ultimately bring the same core challenges into your life? Perhaps you always end up with someone who is emotionally unavailable, or someone who is overly critical, or someone you feel you need to fix. You might end a relationship promising yourself, never again, only to find yourself, months or years later, in a strikingly similar dynamic with a completely new person. It's as if you're casting for a role in your life's play, and only actors with a specific, challenging script show up for the audition. This isn't because you are unlucky in love. It's a powerful sign that there is an unhealed part of you that is attracting this specific energy. This pattern isn't limited to romantic partners. It can manifest in our friendships and even our professional connections. You might repeatedly find yourself with friends who take more than they give, or bosses who micromanage you in the exact same way. The pattern is the universe's way of pointing to an internal lesson. Are you learning to set stronger boundaries? Are you learning to value your own worth without external validation? Are you learning to love yourself so fully that you no longer seek to be completed by someone else? The repetition is a call to look inward, to heal the wound that makes that familiar, yet unhealthy, dynamic feel like home. The goal is to break the pattern not by changing others, but by transforming the part of you that resonates with it. Now, let's talk about that heavy, frustrating sensation of being stuck. It feels like you're running on a treadmill. You're putting in the effort, you're sweating, you're exhausted, but when you look around, your scenery hasn't changed. You're still in the same place. This feeling of stagnation can permeate every area of your life. You apply for new jobs, but never get the offer that would allow you to leave the one you dislike. You try to start a new creative project, but you can't seem to get past the first few steps. You want to move to a new city, but obstacles constantly appear, keeping you right where you are. It's a profound sense of being unable to progress, no matter how hard you push against the invisible walls around you. This isn't just a lack of motivation or a run of bad luck. This is a classic sign of a karmic loop. The universe is essentially putting your life on pause. Why? Because there's a crucial piece of internal work that needs to be done before you can successfully move to the next level. Pushing harder against the external world won't work. The key is to stop pushing and start listening. What is this period of stillness trying to teach you? Perhaps it's a lesson in patience, or a lesson in finding joy and purpose right where you are, instead of constantly seeking it in the next thing. Often, when we feel stuck externally, it's because we are being called to go on a deep internal journey of self-discovery and acceptance. The forward momentum you crave will come, but only after the internal shift has occurred. Have you ever been in a situation and had this overwhelming, almost eerie feeling that you've been here before? I'm not just talking about the fleeting feeling of déjà vu, but a deep, resonant knowing that this exact challenge, this specific conversation, or this precise emotional dilemma has played out in your life previously. It might be a conflict with a coworker that feels identical to a conflict you had at your last job. It could be a financial crisis that mirrors one you went through 5 years ago. Or it might be a difficult choice you have to make that feels hauntingly familiar, presenting the same two paths you've stood before. This is the karmic loop showing its hand in the most direct way possible. The universe is representing a scenario to you because the last time it appeared, the lesson was missed. Think of it like a movie that you're being asked to rewatch. The first time, you might have missed the plot twist or the subtle clues. So, you're shown it again. The universe is asking, did you see it this time? Do you understand the role you played? Will you choose a different reaction? Will you speak your truth this time, where you stayed silent before? Will you choose self-preservation this time, where you chose self-sacrifice before? These recurring situations are not a punishment. They are a profound opportunity. They are a cosmic final exam, and you are being given another chance to pass the test by making a new, more conscious, and more aligned choice. This sign is subtle, but honestly incredibly revealing. You finally make a big change. Maybe you leave the toxic job, or you move to a new city, or you cut ties with a draining friend group. You feel this sense of relief, like you're getting a fresh start. But then, slowly and surely, the same types of challenges begin to creep back in. You find that your new boss has, well, the same communication style as your old one. You realize the social dynamics in your new city are creating the same feelings of isolation you tried to escape. That issue of not being valued for your work, which you thought you left behind, is now a central theme in your new dream job. It can be incredibly disheartening, making you feel like you just can't escape your problems. But the lesson here is one of the most profound in our spiritual journey. You cannot run from yourself. These challenges are not tied to a place or a person. They are tied to your energy, to your unlearned lessons. The universe isn't concerned with your external environment. It's concerned with your internal growth. So, it will recreate the necessary conditions for that growth wherever you go. If your lesson is about learning to speak up and advocate for your worth, the universe will provide you with situations that demand it, whether you're in New York or a small town in the countryside. The true escape isn't in changing your location, it's in changing your response. It's about recognizing the pattern and realizing the obstacle isn't out there, but a reflection of the work that needs to be done in here. Our emotions are powerful messengers. But what happens when a specific emotional reaction feels permanently stuck on repeat? This is a key sign of a karmic loop. It's that one trigger that no matter how much you think you've worked on it, still sends you into a spiral. It could be an overwhelming feeling of abandonment when someone cancels plans. It might be an intense surge of anger when you feel unheard or misunderstood. Or perhaps it's a deep-seated feeling of inadequacy that gets triggered by criticism, no matter how constructive. You might have gone to therapy, read books, and meditated on it, yet the raw, potent, and immediate nature of the reaction remains. This persistent emotional trigger is like a spiritual alarm bell. It's signaling a deep, unhealed wound, often from our past, perhaps even from a past life, according to some beliefs. The emotion itself is not the problem. It is a symptom. It's a signpost pointing directly to the karmic lesson you are here to learn. The loop isn't the situation that triggers you. The loop is your recurring, automatic reaction to it. Breaking this cycle requires you to stop judging the emotion and instead get curious about it. It's about learning to sit with that intense feeling, to breathe through it without reacting, and to ask it, what are you trying to tell me? What part of me needs to be seen, soothed, and healed? True healing happens not when the trigger disappears, but when you can face the trigger and choose a new, more peaceful response. Your intuition is your soul's internal guidance system. It's that quiet whisper, that gut feeling, that deep inner knowing that gently nudges you in the right direction. It often speaks to us before our logical mind has had time to analyze a situation. And one of the surest ways to get stuck in a karmic loop is to consistently ignore it. Think back to the times you've made a mistake. How often, in hindsight, did you realize that a part of you knew it was the wrong decision? You knew you shouldn't have taken that job. You knew you shouldn't have trusted that person. You knew you should have said no. But you let your logical mind, your fear, or the opinions of others override that subtle, wise voice within. Each time you dismiss your intuition and repeat a mistake, you are reinforcing the karmic loop. The universe is trying to teach you the lesson of self-trust. It is trying to show you that you have an inner compass that is far more reliable than any external map. The loop continues because you keep outsourcing your decisions, looking for validation and answers outside of yourself. To break this cycle, you must begin the practice of honoring your inner guidance. This requires courage. It means making choices that might not make sense to others, or even to your own logical brain. It means learning to listen to the whispers before they become screams, and trusting that your soul knows the way, even when the path isn't clear. Living in a karmic loop is emotionally, mentally, and spiritually draining. This isn't the normal tiredness you feel after a long day of work. This is a deep, soul-level exhaustion. It's the fatigue that comes from fighting the same battles over and over again. It's the frustration of seeing the same unwanted outcomes manifest despite your best efforts. You might feel a sense of hopelessness, cynicism, or resignation. You might start thinking, what's the point of trying? It's just going to end up the same way. This feeling of being drained is your spirit's way of telling you that the current approach is not working. It's a sign that you are expending immense energy, resisting the lesson instead of learning it. This exhaustion is a critical turning point. For many, it's the point where they finally surrender. But surrender doesn't mean giving up. In this context, surrender means letting go of the need to control the outcome. It means stopping the fight against the current and instead, learning to flow with it, to understand its direction and purpose. This profound fatigue is a call to rest, to reflect, and to approach your life from a new state of being. It's an invitation to stop doing and start being, to stop pushing and start allowing. The exhaustion is a sign that the old way of living is no longer sustainable. It is the catalyst that forces you to seek a new path, one of awareness, acceptance, and conscious choice, which is the only true way to break free. As we've journeyed through these 7 signs, I want you to take a gentle, compassionate breath. If many of these resonated with you, please know you are not alone, and this is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you are on the cusp of a major breakthrough. These karmic loops, these repeating patterns, are not your life sentence. They are your curriculum. They are the sacred assignments your soul chose to master in this lifetime. The first and most powerful step is the one you have taken today. Awareness. Simply recognizing the pattern gives you the power to change your relationship with it. You can now see the loop not as a prison, but as a classroom. So I invite you to reflect on this. Take some time after this video to sit with yourself. Which of these signs felt the most true for you? What is the recurring theme in your life story right now? And most importantly, what lesson do you think the universe is lovingly trying to teach you? Is it a lesson of self-worth, of boundaries, of forgiveness, of trust? The answer is already within you, waiting to be acknowledged. Remember, you break the cycle not by fighting the old reality, but by building a new one, founded on the wisdom you gain from these very lessons. Your power lies in the present moment, in the next choice you make. This is a deep and personal journey, and we can learn so much from one another. I would be so honored if you would share your own experiences or insights in the comments below. What karmic loops have you recognized in your life? What helped you, or is helping you, to break free? Your story could be the spark of recognition that someone else needs to see to begin their own healing. Thank you for sharing this space with me today. Remember to be gentle with yourself as you walk this path. Your growth is a beautiful, unfolding process.